Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always. What are we getting into today?
Well, I'm sure you've all seen the trailers for Companion.
Oh, yeah, the one with the creepy AI girlfriend.
That's the one. And it's been getting some seriously mixed reviews. Some people love it, some people hate it.
Sounds like the perfect candidate for a deep dive.
I thought so too. So basically, we're going to try to figure out if Companion is worth your time.
Sounds good to me. So where do we even start with a movie like this? It seems like there's a lot going on.
You're telling me we've got sci-fi, horror, comedy. It's a whole genre mashup.
A genre mashup, huh? Interesting. Kind of like Black Mirror meets the Stepford Wives.
Exactly. But with a lot more laughs.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So what's the story about?
Okay, so it's 2025, and AI companions are everywhere. They're like the must-have accessory.
Makes sense. AI is getting more and more advanced every day.
Right. So our main character, Iris, played by Sophie Thatcher, she's an AI companion.
Oh, wow, Sophie Thatcher. I loved her in Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, she's amazing in this too. So anyway, Iris is designed to be the perfect girlfriend for her owner, Josh, played by Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid, huh? He's great. So does it work? Is she the perfect girlfriend?
Well, that's where things get complicated. Iris started to become self-aware.
Uh-oh. Self-aware AI. I've seen enough sci-fi movies to know that that's not usually good news.
You got that right. Things take a dark turn. She starts questioning her existence, uncovers a big secret, and yeah, gets pretty wild.
I bet. And it all takes place at a secluded lake house with friends, right? I saw that in the trailer.
Yep, classic horror movie setup. But the way they mix in the comedy with the sci-fi and horror, it's really unique.
I can't even picture it. What kind of humor are we talking about here?
Okay, are you ready for this? One of Iris's most iconic lines in the film is, "The first was the day I met Josh. The second was the day I killed him."
Whoa. Okay, so definitely dark humor then. Not exactly a rom-com.
Definitely not. More like a twisted satire on the whole perfect partner ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of makes you rethink those dating apps, huh?
A little bit. But back to Sophie Thatcher for a second. I've heard she's getting rave reviews for this role.
Oh, totally. Critics are saying she manages to play both the robotic and the emotional sides of Iris perfectly. It's a seriously nuanced performance.
I can imagine that would be really tough to pull off. You have to be convincing as a machine, but also convey those human emotions. Sounds like a challenge.
And she nails it. You totally believe that Iris is both a machine and a person, which is pretty freaky, to be honest.
I bet. It makes you wonder what it even means to be human.
Exactly. That's what's so cool about this movie. It really gets you thinking.
Yeah.
But it's not all serious. You know, the rest of the cast is great, too.
Yeah. Who else is in it?
You've got Jack Quaid, obviously, and then Harvey Guillen brings some much-needed comic relief.
I love Harvey Guillen. He's always hilarious.
Right. He really lightens the mood, which is good because things do get pretty dark.
Yeah.
But I have to say, it's not really scary, you know?
Yeah, that's what I heard, too. People are saying it's more thriller than horror.
More like an unsettling vibe, you know? Like something's off. But the visuals are incredible. Super sleek, futuristic.
Ah, so they've gone all out with the production design, huh? Making it look as good as it makes you think.
Exactly. Plus, it's a quick watch. Only 97 minutes. No dragging it out.
I appreciate that. Always a plus. But does it feel rushed at all?
Well, that's where things get a little tricky. Apparently, the third act is a bit messy.
A messy third act. That's too bad.
Yes, some critics are saying it relies on some convenient plot devices and doesn't quite tie everything up neatly.
The classic too much to do, too little time problem.
Exactly. But even with that, the Rotten Tomatoes score is still pretty high, like 93%.
Wow, that is high. So people are obviously enjoying it. I guess the big question is
it worth your time?
Right. That's what we're here to find out.
Okay, well, let's break it down. So should you watch it? I'd say if you're into dark comedies, especially with a sci-fi twist, then yeah, Companion is worth a look.
Especially if you like being creeped out just a little bit.
Right. It's got those chills, but it's not going to keep you up at night.
Like you said, it's more of an unsettling feeling, yeah.
Plus, it's got some really interesting things to say about AI and where technology is headed.
It makes you wonder, how far are we really from having AI companions like Iris?
It's not that far-fetched, is it?
Not really. And then what are the ethics of that? Do they have rights?
Big questions, right? And the movie definitely makes you think about that stuff.
But it's not just a lecture. It's entertaining, too. Sophie Thatcher, she's phenomenal.
I know, right? I'm telling you, she steals every scene she's in.
And the whole movie looks amazing from what I've seen in the trailer.
Oh yeah, the visuals are super slick. Real futuristic vibe, but also kind of familiar.
Like, we can almost imagine this world existing in a few years.
Exactly. Okay, but let's talk about this marketing controversy.
Oh, yeah, the whole spoiler thing.
I mean, they basically revealed the big twist about Iris in the trailer.
Which is so frustrating. I hate when they do.
I know, right? It's like, why even bother watching the movie now?
Well, some people say that knowing the twist can actually make it more interesting.
Really? How so?
Like, you can focus on the how and the why instead of just the what.
I guess I can see that. But I still prefer to be surprised.
Me too. But, okay, enough about spoilers. Let's get back to the movie itself.
Okay, so one thing that some critics are saying is that it doesn't really delve deep enough into some of the themes.
Like the whole incel culture thing, I saw that mentioned in a few reviews.
Yeah, and the commodification of relationships, like turning love into a product you can buy.
Interesting. It sounds like it's trying to tackle some really complex issues.
It is. But the criticism is that it just kind of skims the surface.
We're like, it's not really sure what it wants to say about those things.
Right, and that can be frustrating, especially when a movie has so much potential.
It's like they're throwing out all these ideas, but they don't fully explore any of them.
But even with those criticisms, the film is still getting a ton of praise. I mean, 93% on Rotten Tomatoes is no joke.
But that's true. People are obviously connecting with it on some level.
So, I think it comes down to this. What are you looking for in a movie?
Good question. Are you looking for something thought-provoking that will stay with you long after the credits roll? Or are you just looking for a fun, entertaining way to spend a couple of hours?
Exactly. And if it's the latter, then I think Companion will definitely deliver.
It sounds like it's getting a little something for everyone. A bit of action, a bit of humor, a bit of creepiness.
Plus, you know, that Sophie Thatcher performance we keep talking about.
Oh, right! We can't forget about her. It sounds like she's the heart and soul of this movie.
For sure. So yeah, I'd say it's worth checking out, especially if you're a fan of sci-fi, dark comedy, or just good movies in general.
I mean, even if it doesn't perfectly explore all of its themes, it still sounds like it raises some important questions.
Yeah, like what does it mean to be human? What are the ethical implications of creating AI that's so advanced it can think and feel like we do?
Big stuff, right? And those are conversations we need to be having, especially as technology continues to advance at such a rapid pace.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So maybe Companion can be a starting point for those conversations.
A catalyst for some deep thinking, even if it's disguised as a popcorn flick.
Okay, so we've talked about the plot, the performances, the themes, even the spoilers. Was there anything else we need to cover?
Well, I'm curious about the ending. Does it leave you satisfied or with more questions than answers?
Oh, good question. I don't want to give too much away, but I will say that the ending is definitely...
Exaltative.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. It's not your typical Hollywood ending, that's for sure.
Interesting. So it sounds like it stays true to that Black Mirror vibe, leaving you with something to think about.
Definitely. It makes you question everything you thought you knew about the characters and the world they inhabit.
That's always a good sign. A movie that stays with you long after you've seen it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, you know, even though the movie itself might not delve as deep into the ethical questions surrounding AI as we might have liked, it does raise some important points that are worth considering.
Oh, absolutely. It gets the wheels turning, sparks a dialogue, and that's valuable.
So to bring this all back around to our initial question.
Yeah, is Companion worth your time?
I'd say if you're looking for a movie that's visually stunning, thought-provoking, and darkly comedic, then yes, absolutely.
But if you're expecting a profound philosophical treatise on the nature of AI, you might be a little disappointed.
Right, manage those expectations. But hey, even if it's not perfect, it's still a really entertaining ride.
And who knows, it might even spark some interesting conversations about the future of technology and our relationship with AI.
Speaking of the future, let's talk about where you can actually watch Companion. Is it still in theaters?
From what I've heard, it's still playing in theaters until March 2025, and then it'll probably hit streaming services after that.
So you've got some options. Big screen or cozy couch, your choice.
And hey, if you do see it, let us know what you think. We'd love to hear your take.
Definitely. Hit us up on social media, send us an email, carrier pigeon, whatever works.
We're always up for a good deep dive discussion.
Okay, so before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought.
Hit us with it.
Imagine a world where AI companions are so advanced that they're not just mimicking emotions.
Oh, wow, you're going there.
What if they actually experience those emotions? Joy, sadness, even love. What then?
Whoa. That changes everything, doesn't it? Our responsibilities, our relationships with them.
It's mind-blowing, right?
Yeah.
And kind of scary.
A little bit, but also exciting.
Definitely. It makes you wonder, what does the future hold for us and for AI?
And what does it mean to be human in a world where machines can feel?
big questions, right? And we don't have all the answers. But that's what makes this so fascinating.
It's a journey of exploration, a constant evolution of thought.
Exactly. So as you go about your day, maybe take a moment to consider these questions.
Think about the role of technology in your life and what kind of future you want to create.
Because the future is coming, whether we're ready for it or not.
And it's up to us to shape that future in a way that benefits both humanity and technology.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So that's it for our deep dive into Companion. We hope you enjoyed the ride.
And that it's given you plenty to think about.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive into a topic that's sure to pique your curiosity.
Until then, stay curious, stay engaged, and keep those brain cells firing.
See you next time. So before we officially wrap up this deep dive, I think there's one more thing we should touch on.
Yeah, what's that?
We've talked a lot about the technical aspects of AI, like how it works and what it can do.
And the ethical implications of creating AI that's so advanced it can think and feel like humans?
Right, but what about the emotional side of things?
Oh, interesting. The emotional side of AI.
Yeah, like what if these AI companions actually start to develop their own emotions? Not just mimicking them, but actually feeling them.
Whoa. Okay, I see where you're going with this. That's a whole other level of complexity.
Right. Imagine an AI companion that can experience joy, sadness, even love.
It's kind of mind-blowing, isn't it? To think that we might one day create machines that can truly feel.
It's both fascinating and terrifying at the same time.
Absolutely. I mean, if that were to happen, how would our relationships with those AI companions change?
Exactly. Would we still treat them as machines, or would we have to start thinking of them as something more?
Like, would they have rights? Responsibilities?
It raises a whole new set of ethical questions.
Questions that we as a society need to start thinking about now, before it's too late.
Because the future is coming, whether we're ready for it or not.
And it's up to us to shape that future in a way that's beneficial for both humans and AI.
Well said. So, as you go about your day, maybe take a moment to consider those questions.
Think about the potential impact of AI on our lives, our relationships, our very understanding of what it means to be human.
Because the future of AI is ultimately a reflection of our own values and choices.
It's a mirror held up to humanity, showing us both our potential and our flaws.
And maybe, just maybe, by exploring these questions now, we can create a future where AI and humans can coexist harmoniously.
A future where technology enhances our lives without diminishing our humanity.
That's a future I can get behind. So on that note, I think we've officially reached the end of our deep dive into Companion.
It's been a wild ride, full of twists, turns, and thought-provoking moments.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
From the plot to the performances, the themes, even the spoilers.
And we've explored some pretty deep questions about the nature of AI and its potential impact on our future.
We hope you've enjoyed the journey as much as we have.
And that you'll continue to explore these questions long after the episode is over.
Because the conversation about AI is just beginning.
And it's a conversation that we all need to be a part of.
So until next time, keep those brain cells firing.
Stay curious, stay engaged, and keep on deep diving.